Hey everyone, this is my rerun on Crevasse Beta Part 7 featuring classic Team ABC, Aphmau, Bards and Seed Rains, and I decided to redo Part 6 and 7 because my initial run on Part 7 was pretty lackluster. I only had 6 points because all the codes were used up, and Machina doesn't really do so well on this stage due to the very high defenses the bosses have. Even Machina was hitting for once at the end of the fight. So I decided to instead use Machina on Part 6 instead, and I also have a video of that up already. But Team ABC actually does extremely well on Part 7, probably the best among all the other Lufenia stages in this event, and that's really for a few reasons. Firstly, as I mentioned, the bosses have extremely high defense because you actually need to allow them to take one turn to use Phalanx, and Phalanx actually boosts their defenses even further. However, this team doesn't really mind it because, for one thing, Seed Rains ignores defense on his launch follow-up attack Impact Strike Plus. For another thing, most of the damage comes from launches anyway, and the launch comes from Brave Battery type damage from Bard's BT Aura and the Keiss LDCA Brave Refund as well. So the high defense doesn't really impact damage that much. The other reason why this party is so effective and why Cait Sith LDCA is really good is at 79% the bosses here will use energy charge and will battery themselves and will also become immune to break unless you deal some form of crit damage. Cait Sith LDCA gives the entire party 100% crit rate, so you will easily be able to break the bosses with Seed Rains alone. Lastly, the Cait Sith LDCA also provides Brave Regen or Brave Refund when you do Brave attacks, and that's also another form of battery that sort of bypasses the high defenses and Brave resistance the bosses can get. One good example is at the later parts of the fight, Aphmau will actually be hitting for once, but it doesn't really matter because she starts off the round with a full bravery, and each brave hit she does will also give her some Brave Regen from the Cait Sith LDCA. And she also ends her turn with a juicy launch anyway, so her damage really isn't impacted that much even though she's hitting for once. Lastly, and I think this is actually a good bonus, the Lufenia Orb on this stage is a little bit different than the other stages because it's not there from start to finish. The orb will actually go away at 79% and will only reappear at 49%. With Team ABC, you can actually damage raise the orb using Bard's BT mode right here to bring them down to 79% before the orb expires. And at the later parts of the fight, from 49% to 0 when the orb reappears, you can damage raise the orb using summon mode. This means that you can actually set any orb code that you want. Doesn't really matter because even if you never update the orb, you can still comfortably damage raise the orb. So here I guess I did come pretty close with the orb expiring, but I also did waste some turns using stuff like Bard's additional ability and such, so I do believe there's quite a little bit of leeway to raise the orb at the start, but you do need to go into BT mode with Bards. Anyway, at 79% the orb is gone, so here you really have free reign. What I'm doing here is alternating turns between Aphmau and Seed Rains. I guess this is also another reason why this team comp is very good for this stage. With two enemies, it's really ideal for Seed Rains and Aphmau because Seed Rains using his S1, EX or LD will also make the other boss launchable, which you can then launch with Aphmau to maximize damage on her turn. When I used this team on stage 6 or part 6, the minions died quite fast, so essentially I'm just fighting against the one boss and I'm sort of wasting Aphmau's turn because she wouldn't be able to launch when there's only one boss on the field. So two bosses is I think really ideal for this party comp, and so this also is another reason why part 7 is the better stage to use Team ABC. A little bit about the Aphmau and Seed Rains combo that you're using. So when there's two bosses in the field, you always want to enable Aphmau to launch during her turn because as you can see, her launching an enemy still does some sweet damage, about 500,000 HP damage on her turn. And the way to set up launch for Aphmau is, if Aphmau acts after Seed Rains, you always want to use either his S1 Ruinga Storm or his EX. If Bartz is acting after Seed Rains, you want to use Seed Rains LD to pull Aphmau back. And doing either his S1, EX or LD will always make the other off targets launchable on Aphmau's turn. Anyway, I'm at 49% now, so at this point the orb will reappear with an orb count of 15, so I'm damage raising the orb again. There should be quite a lot of leeway. So the strat is still the same. I'm still alternating turns between Aphmau and Seed Rains. And here I'm just waiting for the orb count to go low before I pop my summon mode. Now I could use Aphmau's last LD here, but because she's run out of free turns, using her LD right here will increase the turn count by 1. So since the bosses are quite low, I decided to just pop summon and use her LD here to keep the turn count at 8. Unfortunately, I had to use one turn here, so this is turn number 9. I think with a little bit more optimal play, it probably would be very doable to finish the fight on turn 8 instead of turn 9. Anyway, that's it for this fight. As always, hope the video has been helpful, and if you do like the content, please leave a like, comment or subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Lufenia fight. Bye!